go.
Oh, good morning. It's Guido coming at you with a coffee talk with my partner in crime across the pond.
And it's Pilgrim from the correct side of the Atlantic with his The Tank Museum mug because guess what?
Mm.
In 27 days, it's the Tank Fest. It's the Tank Fest, peeps. And it's the one that Guido and I are eventually going to meet up at.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
year.
The one that
1 year.
several plans have fallen through on that one.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Bloody COVID.
Fast Red Horse just around midnight. Brother Todd, how you doing? Who else we got in here? Stickler's in here. Bonzi, Wayne, Randall, Zemke. What's happening? Good morning, everybody. I've got my my Army cup there. Thank you, Pilgrim.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
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 And a nice Sumatra. I got a night. What do you got? Tea? Doing tea to this
Yes,
morning?
I've got. Do you know what? For a change, I've got a bog standard PG Tips. It's the old tea bag today. I couldn't be bothered. I was late. I was outside having a bite to eat in the sunshine because it's our 1 day of summer, and I looked at the clock and it was flashing in the kitchen. So
Yeah.
I must have had a power cut overnight, and it said 1 o'clock, and I was like, sugar lumps, and all those words beginning with S. We've got to start streaming, so I'm trying to ram this sandwich down my gullet, drink my tea, and run upstairs and everything. She shouts up, "It's only 12:20. What are you panicking for?" I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, so I ended up getting a tea bag in the cup because I didn't have time to make proper tea. I do apologise.
No, wait a minute. You were early, but you also didn't have time to make.
Yeah, exactly. When I
Okay.
found out I was early, I was already up here, so sod it. Note, no boxes. All gone. Wardrobe built. That took an age. Yesterday I was there till about 11 o'clock last night building that.
Did you get your boy by to help you, or did he?
No, do you know what? He whipped out on me. He
Ah.
decided he wanted to take his car to the garage to have the rear sensors. You know, you get the line of sensors on the back of the
Yeah,
rear version.
yeah.
Well, they'd all failed, so he decided to wimp out on me and go to the garage with his car. I was like, so, and then what he did is he emailed me the building instructions instead.
All right, so that was a demo pro for you. That was a solo event,
It was definitely a solo event. It was something, I can tell you.
and it hasn't
Tell you
fallen
what,
over yet.
Well, give it time. A slight wind. Open the window. We never know.
I did say yet. I did say yet.
Yes. The old hobbit hole will collapse.
Stickler, thanks for the sub, and Brother Todd. Brother Todd, thanks, man. Much appreciated.
Ah, yeah.
Car Forever, Cliffy. Yeah, how many screws are left over? That's a great question. How much stuff did you have left over?
Oh, I had. Yeah, exactly. I had 6 large brass screws.
Oh,
Don't know where they go. I had a couple of wooden pegs, dowels. Don't know where they go. I had. You see, they got black fittings on them. You know,
Yeah.
the handles and that. I had 3 little black screws that are supposed to go in there, but they've all got screws in, so I don't know where these.
well, generally
This.
they give you a couple extra of each.
Okay, fair enough. That's
But-
probably what it is.
But six is a little concerning when you said you had one item that had 6.
I'm like, I don't know. Nothing wobbles yet.
6 sounds like something got missed.
Yeah, possibly I'll find out when I open one of those doors because I haven't tried it yet.
Generally, if you have 1 or 2 left over, and you can actually look at the contents list, and they'll say you
Yeah.
need 38, we send you 40 or whatever.
All right.
But 6, a lot of times, because that's freestanding, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Some of that hardware may be the wall anchor stuff you probably didn't even use.
Yes. Yeah, there's a strap with it as well, so maybe
Yeah.
some of that is the strap. Oh, okay.
You probably didn't
If
even
I
use
wall
that.
anchor it to this,
Yeah.
I'll pull the wall down. Oh dear.
New construction's not quite
Yeah.
as robust as you might think.
No, not really. I mean, there's plasterboard on the walls, but it is brick.
Yeah.
But it's the plasterboard that, I mean, it's got to settle anyway because it's brand new. So I'm not putting anything in there until at least a year. Which is, the builders have told me this. They said, don't paint it and don't put anything heavy into the walls for at least a year. Let it all settle. Because apparently, when it dries out, you get the hairline cracks. They will come back under the guarantee and redo all the hairline cracks, he said. But if you paint it, He said, first of all, you might not see the hairline cracks, and secondly, you're gonna have to repaint it.
A year? I've never heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, a whole year. Yeah, I was gobsmacked with the year. But when I spoke, my daughter's just bought her. She's on her third house now. She just bought a brand new one, had it built, and she said exactly the same. They had to wait a year. That's crazy, isn't it?
That
You wouldn't
is.
think, would you? You know,
Yeah, I don't.
you
Yeah,
wouldn't think.
we don't do that
Well,
here.
anyway, are we doing
just paint.
tax? Yeah. Or have you got a story about doing something?
Well, I do have a story. So
Excuse me.
the ongoing, I don't know how to adventure. Let's call it Guido's Outdoor Adventures or Guido's Home Adventures. How about that? So I have a fence on both sides of the house, kind of a low one that I built, decorative thing between the two neighbors, and never painted it. It was just raw wood for a long time, and I went back and forth. Do I want to stain it? Do I want to paint it? Some of the old posts were already painted white. They're inside now, kind of the way I built the fence, but you can still see them in there. So finally, I decided, all right, I'll paint them white because I got to painting the windows a couple weeks ago. I talked about.
Oh yeah, you had that thing, didn't you?
So I have some paint, and then I borrowed my buddy's paint sprayer, and I'm thinking, all right, this will be cool. So I'm looking at it, and some of the planks are warped because they're kind of long runs, especially the top ones, which are flat, and there's no real support in the middle, which is kind of a crappy design, but whatever. It's my design, so there you go. So they were sagging, and I was just going to unscrew them, turn them over, and set them on top, and that'll sort it for another few years, you know.
Absolutely.
So I'm unscrewing, do one, do another. So I get down to one end of it, and I unscrew it, and unscrew up the two sides, and I pick up the board and I flip it over. And as I flip it over, I feel like somehow in this movement I have rammed and there was a lot of vines and stuff around it. With
Okay.
a lot of spiky vines. We have a lot of crap like that around here. And I spent the whole morning clearing those off first before I started doing this because I don't want to paint the vines and stuff in the way.
No.
And so I'd been doing all that, and I'd stuck myself a couple times with the thorns and crap. So, but this one was like I'm like I have a giant splinter or a very big thorn just gone in my hand. I'm like and then all of a sudden I'm like now somehow I have also put a thorn or a splinter in my back. Now how did it get to my back? And about that time, that's when I heard the air raid siren of the bzzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I disturbed a hornet's nest.
That is not a good thing to do.
Oh yeah, and there was about 5. It wasn't too many. So one of the posts there were some old screw holes because it had the stuff. It was built different than when I redid it. It was an old post, so I just didn't use those screw holes. Didn't think much about them. Didn't fill them or anything. Well, those dudes had. Oh yeah, they'd gone into that hole, and there was I don't know maybe 5, 10 of them in there. And now I'm running around the truck. These things buzzing around like swatting these things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it got me in the finger, got me in my back, and I'm like, ah.
I bet you're like, I wish I'd built a swimming pool. Now I could just jump in it. I bet you were wishing you'd built your swimming pool.
Well, touch wood. My dad was extremely allergic to bee stings and hornet stings. He carried an early version of the EpiPen thing, like it.
Yeah.
It wasn't the pen, but it was a shot. They actually had a syringe and a little vial and stuff back in those days. So he had that in his glove box. Of course, it never stopped him from just smashing them with his hand.
No.
No, drove my mom crazy. But
Yeah.
so I touch wood. They don't seem to bother me that much. I mean, it hurts, but I don't get a reaction. I'll get a little lump, just a little tiny one. So, but I always kind of pay attention to it because he was so allergic, and you can develop that stuff later. Yeah, you can develop it later, possibly. But it was fine.
Like you, Riley.
Goodness gracious, thing just.
It's dangerous down your way, isn't it?
I was talking to my buddy about that actually. We had people over for burgers and brats last night, and we're all hanging out. We're playing cornhole out in the yard and everything, and we're discussing that. And I said, you know what? Of all the dangerous crap that we have in Florida, the thing that has tore me up the most are the damn hornets.
Yeah.
Like I have literally been stung by hornets half a dozen times.
Wow.
It's
they
just
must
crazy.
Be attracted to you.
Well, remember I told you I stepped on one in my
Yeah.
in my
That's right.
carpet, my rug, stepped on it and zapped me on the foot. I was driving down the road once. I've told this story. Had my arm out. It was the old Blazer I had that had no AC, of all things, in Florida. It went out on me. I drove it for 2 years. Right up, that was when I was flying, so I had my flight suit on, so it's got long sleeves. It right up the sleeve and zapped me in my arm. I mean,
Man.
I had to grab it and kill it because I could feel it crawling around.
You feel it crawling
I'm
around.
like, God dang it.
Yeah.
And then
The thing is, you see, the one you stood on, or possibly that one that went up his sleeve, he's gone and told his mates, and now they're looking for you. You're that Guido geezer. You're a marked man.
that was I'll tell you what, that was a forward deployment.
Yeah.
Right? That was a recon camp.
Forward deployment.
That was a recon. Yeah, that was a recon camp. And I'll tell you what, it's like my dad said one of the few times they ever talked about Vietnam and what he did there as a forward air control. He said, generally, if he was on a mission, he saw a lot of stuff that could have had things dropped on it, but he was supporting the unit and they had a specific goal, and that's what he did. But he said, if anyone else ever fired at me, I made it a point to drop bombs on them.
Absolutely.
So,
if you have that ability, why not?
In that spirit, not to lessen what he was doing and make it anything similar to mine, but in that spirit, I decided that if they were going to sting me, I was going to make sure they went away. So I went and got the raid and spent the next 3 hours zapping them.
We should run around the garden like that, squirting into the...
It was in the front, so it has a pretty good range. So I just kind of stood off and just put it right into the hole. Hit a couple of them that were crawling around. It did that like three times.
That's a little like deploying cruise missiles, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's what you were doing. You were doing the cruise missile deployment.
Well, I had the broom too, so I had to smack one. I was going to use the broom.
You had the Patriot system to back you up.
Yep.
There you go. That's what you need, mate.
So I employed the chemical warfare, and I had the broom smasher as well.
Put your military training to the best use you can. That's what I say.
That's right, Zemke, and it's amazing actually how fast they will get you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, all I did was kind of pull the board up and turn it over, and the post, about that far down the post was the hole. So the board was up here that I pulled off.
They got up and out.
And they just came. Now I'm sure there was a couple crawling around underneath it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I turned that, and it's about waist height, I turned it, and it's like whack, whack. I'm like, oh God. And they're all.
See, Brother Todd's got even double trouble. He's got red ants and hornets to deal with. Crikey. It's a world where you lot live.
We've got fire ants in Florida.
Oh yes.
Oh, they're nasty. They're nasty.
Do they do the big trails? Do they like when they go on the march? Have you seen those?
The
ants.
I've not seen that, but I suppose they might.
Yeah, when I was out in Belize in Central America, they had fire ants, but they used to have literally millions of them in a trail going through the jungle, and they'd be carrying leaves with them and all sorts of stuff, and all the pupa and all that lot. They were and it was like it would stretch for about 20 meters, 20 yards.
Yeah.
And they get to like rivers, and basically they would carry the first sort of 10,000 would die to form a bridge, so the rest crawled across the top, and they were just absolutely. If you saw one of them, you knew it.
Yeah. Yeah, those killer hornets they call them. They're huge.
Killer hornets.
Yeah. Yep. Fire ants in West Texas. Oh yeah, the fire ants are a pain because
are they like an inch?
they're tiny. They're small.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're the sting pain to size relation to them is ridiculous. I mean, you see big red ants, and they'll give you a good bite. They will. And it hurts. But those plus they've got some kind of poison or something in their sting as well because, I do have a reaction to them. I get really bad little they're like little pustules. It'll little red bite, and then you'll get like stuff in it, and they suck.
Stickler setting fire to them with gasoline and motor oil. There's a way to do it. If that's not napalm overkill, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
There's other things that give me an itchy rash, brother.
Dude, the killer hornets are about, I want to say they're like that big.
No.
Yeah, they're huge. Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, look it up. Look up killer hornet. I might even be underselling them. They're big. They're really big.
You just don't. We don't get. I get peacocks and pheasants.
Yeah. They must
Box.
not be easy to kill because
Well,
wasps are pretty robust. You can smash a wasp pretty
yeah.
hard with a broom or something, and they still keep trucking.
Yeah.
All right, what
Well,
are we doing?
what do we do? We're doing tanks.
Oh, right.
Shall we?
Why not? Channel
Channel
news.
news. Give us some channel news, Guido.
All right, let's see. 100 Battle Challenge. We had a little movement on that. Let's go over here because, and I know some of you guys aren't fans of the Caro, but I like this tank.
Oh, I do.
I two marked it actually. Ended up at 63% with it. Not bad. Average damage 1399. All this is the armor use is okay at 0.41, so it actually has decent armor. But it's because of all the angles and stuff. It's a pretty good side scraping tank, and the turret's okay. So I just liked it. I just really enjoyed this thing. So
I've never had a. Let me have a quick look. I've never had a problem with it. I've liked it. The Caro P.
Caro, yeah, Caro
Yeah.
de Assalto P88. I did run the turbo one. I was running bounty equipment, so that obviously helped. Food, all that good stuff. So it was try hard mode. I've taken all the equipment off of it, but I had the IA, bounty turbo, and bounty rammer, which all got about the best you
Yeah.
could get out of that thing.
Bit of try hard there.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. I'd have to go to a service record because I've actually sold it to purchase the next one up.
I don't know if it's in the Hall of Fame. I can't remember. Yeah, there you go. So I would still need 6 battles to do it, but as of right now, I'd be number 1 Hall of Fame
Right.
for the last whatever. Now I'd have
There you
to.
are,
I have to
That's
play.
very good, isn't it?
I'd have to play 6 more. So who knows? This surprised me. I'm actually doing pretty well in the Scorpion, despite feeling like I'm doing horrible.
Yeah. You said you struggled with it. Well, probably because it wasn't the one with the proper.
Well, the win rate's still crap. The win rate's still hovering at 50. I'll get to 53, back to 50, sometimes down to 48. And I'm approaching the 100 battles. So remember, this was the one I was just going to run regular equipment on. And I think my impatience is working against me with this tank. But the gun just trolls me horribly.
Right.
It's not a snapshot gun. I mean, it's accurate, but you really have to let that thing settle and be careful, and that's not that easy a lot of times in this game. So it's all right.
No, well, the opportunity to do that is long gone, hasn't it? I think mostly.
Well, when you're trying to, if you're good enough to get to the middle to late game, there's a lot of movement in the middle to late game.
Yeah.
But and also getting too far forward, obviously being a little too aggressive. It's just not a tank that likes to be far forward because obviously you get seen. Artie thrashes you. Everyone wants to shoot you because you're soft.
Well, that is a known thing with the Italian. That the armor's not the best in the world.
Yeah.
Most of the Italian tanks are.
Fast Red Horse, I am not actually. I am completely done with the first one. I've done every one of these missions, I believe, with honors. Yes. So I have every one of the first campaign with honors. I have all of the Excalibur with honors. I am working on honors with all these. What I really need to do, which one? This one? Yes. Right now, what I'm trying to get done is the Chimera Alliance 15 with honors. So I've finished all these, but I need this one to get my order back. Or to get my order. Not back, because I haven't used it, but to get my last order. And then I've not done a whole bunch on the 279 early. Alliance is the one I'm trying to work on. The idea being here that I have... Why do I only have 4? Available 4, committed to missions 3. Oh, maybe I've already unlocked one of these. Did I unlock one of these already?
Yeah,
I did, yeah.
That's 7 in total, isn't it?
Yeah, so I unlocked one just for giggles to see how it worked. So then I'll take, since I have 4, that's right. I could unlock one more of these, and that would leave me 1. And then I have to, and that's why I'm trying to get the Chimera. That'll give me 2. And then I finish Alliance with honors. That gives me 3. And then I unlock the last one and I get the tank. And that's the fastest way to get the 279 early. is get all the orders from all the other number 15s with honors. And that way you only have to do one of these.
Yeah, you can retrieve the orders without. It automatically comes back to if you do it with honors, doesn't it? If you've used it,
if you use it in an interim mission. Now, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I didn't see much reason to do that. So because you get a order on the number 15 with honors,
yeah,
you finish all those. That's 8 for Excalibur and Chimera.
yeah,
And then you get one more off of a 15 on the 279 early. That's 9. Then that's enough to unlock 3 of the 15s, and you've already unlocked one because you got it with honors, and then you have the tank.
yeah.
That's probably
Yeah.
a better way to describe that.
Better
Blues.
way to do it because I've got orders applied to things that are the previous levels. To retrieve the order, I'd have to go back and play that and get the honors to retrieve the order.
Yeah. Albandu, just get one. Get it. Probably the U.S. line is one of the best. I mean, the M44 used to be able to knock them out. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's good enough. Just play some Arty and get them. Those missions are really easy.
Yeah, I got mine out. I did all 15 in the space of as quick as I could. Basically,
Yeah.
M44, and I think I had what's the British one?
I mean,
the Burt before it got nerfed, so I used them.
I mean that's a for me no-brainer. Just get the dang Arty and knock them out. Yeah, well, that's a whole nother subject, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, thanks, Wargaming.
They let stuff languish like that too much. All right, rest of the channel news. I did finish the Kari as well,
Right, okay.
so I blasted
Moving on
through
up
that
to
one. Well, that
How
was
does that feel?
it was easy. I mean, that tank is a monster. I entered with 57%. I think I only one marked it. Yeah, 57%. Only one marked it. Only at 71.92.
Right.
But that's pretty good. Close to 1,000 experience a game, 2,000 average damage. All these numbers are really good. So it's a good tank, man. Good tank.
Do you think all the way through the line it's gonna look good?
No, we discussed it a little bit last week. The 5 is bog standard. The 6 is atrocious.
Oh,
The 7 is a monster.
right.
Actually, let's just look at it because they finally actually brought the numbers into the stats here. Somebody finally dug into the API on it. It took a little longer than usual. I was a bit surprised how long it took. Let's get over here and check it out. Because I was looking at it earlier. Somebody mentioned the 7 was really good. And that made me realize they finally had the stats on them. Yeah, let's go. There we go. Come on. Come on. Gotta mess with this thing a little bit because I was doing another garage shuffle yesterday.
Oh, I've seen that. Is that like you just like click a button or something, or is it a setup you can do?
It's just an RNG thing online.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this is the tier 5. And we've got, it's also scouts, so that's unhelpful. Actually, that doesn't help us at all. There we go. Win rate. Let's see. Where does the tier 5 suss out in win rate? Down here. So the Honey 3, about halfway down. DPG. So it's pretty standard, right? Tier 5 is fairly average tier 5. It's in the middle of everything right here.
Right.
So tier 6 is horrible, and it lives down at the bottom. It's down here. Win rate is actually...
There's it out then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's the truth of it.
Win rate is a little higher. That has to settle a little bit. DPG, it's actually not bad because it's got that big gun. But win rate...
It's the survival rate, I bet it doesn't survive.
You know what? That surprised me. Look at it. That actually, I don't know why on that because it doesn't really have armor. I think mostly it's so slow, people just don't really get up forward with it a lot.
Oh, yeah. That could be it.
Yeah, that's my guess. I mean, I can't figure that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is on, what are we on? 30 days. 30. How do I change that actually? Can I change the number of days it's looking at? I don't see anywhere for that to happen. Don't know. This is 30-day stats though. So it's pretty average DPG frags. Where's it sitting at frags? It's got a big gun, so its frags are okay. It's kind of in the middle in terms of damage and stuff, and down at the bottom in terms of winning.
Right.
Pen's pretty good, so it's pretty high on the penetrating shots. Then we get to the tier 7. This is pretty funny, actually. So we go, all right, so what about the 7? First.
Yeah,
by a long ways. By a long ways.
Wow.
I know, Cliffy, you used to. I thought you could also do another, like 120 or something. I don't know. Maybe it's in there somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not as familiar with this setup as the other one. But, I mean, that's a huge outlier, and that's a lot of battles. In fact, it might be number 1. No, close. Close. DPG, number 1. Frags, 1. Assist, okay.
Wow.
E25 is faster. More armor with this guy. Hit percentage, loses a little bit. The gun's, I wouldn't call it derpy, but it's not quite as accurate as some of these other guns. Pen, second, because it's got good pen. Spots, even spots, it's relatively fast, to be honest. Blocked, the armor's good. This thing does everything. I mean, it just is everything that you would want a TD to do. It's pretty fast, decent.
It's not a face hugger, is it? It's still.
But it can. I mean, it's one of those.
Got the armor to do it.
Well, you wouldn't go, okay, I'm going to assault TD, I'm going to walk into you and just smash your face. But you can be up near the front, and the armor will bounce stuff. And mid to late game, because its mobility is good, and its armor's decent, it's really good mid to late game, closing games out. Because
cool. Can't wait to get there.
It's relative to a casemate, right? None of the casemates are necessarily as good as, say, a medium or a heavy tank. But for a casemate, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Which then gets us to the 8. I haven't investigated these too much, to be honest with you. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of the... Let's just get rid of the premiums and just look at tech tree. All right. It's number 1 on win rate, or sorry, win 8. 2 on win rate, and this is just tech tree. 1 on DPG. 2 on frags. 2 on assist. Kind of surprising this SMV CC67 is owning the top of this, at least so far as tech tree.
That is interesting, isn't it?
It drops off in pen percentage. Spots, pretty third. Blocked armor, or blocked damage, 4th, so its armor is okay-ish. And survival, 2nd. So, in terms of as a tech tree, it's good. Yeah, win 8 will adjust. And it tends to skew high. And that one's pretty high, so that's probably not really correct. What about the tier 9? Which I'm on the tier 9 now, guys. I should have the tier 7 review out later this week. It's 2nd on win rate. 1st on DPG. 1st on frags. So it's certainly up near the top. Drops off a little bit on some of these others. Pen percentage, 2nd. Spots, who cares? Blocked. Yeah. Good. It's good. And then the 10. I know nothing about the 10. I don't see many of these. Where does it live? 1. Holy cow! Look at its win 8. That looks more like a math issue than. I mean, that's so far.
Yeah. How many battles in it though?
Let's actually put. Is there any tech tree or premium ones up here? What? Yeah, that's right. The SP2. DPG. Frags at the top. Assist.
I mean, you've got to admit, when you look at it physically, it looks very, very nasty with that huge barrel.
Yeah.
But, you know,
So, other than the tier 6, which is kind of mediocre, people call it bad because in relation to the rest of them, it is bad, but in relation to
Yeah.
tier 6, it's okay. The rest of them are all good for a casemate. So, there you go.
Yeah, I guess, on par with the German TDs, I would suggest.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ish.
Yeah, I would not quite as accurate, but maybe
Not
in a
quite.
couple cases a better armor and a little
Yeah.
more mobility. Like the corollary German TDs, the Jag Tiger, Jag Panther, E100, all that stuff. They're just slower. These things are a bit faster. Not I wouldn't say they're zippy, but they're certainly faster. So Artillery Bugs thinks the 9 is the best of the tree right now. I am still on the first gun. I don't have the upgraded gun on that one. Let's go here. Because I ran out of free experience, which is something I haven't done in a very long time.
Yeah. You've probably got a million waiting to be converted.
I do, but I'm not going to spend the gold. I'm sort of enjoying the grind. I mean, I don't do a lot of grinds these days, so I'm sitting at 25,000. The next thing I get will be the gun. I do have the tracks. You know what I did? I didn't even think about it. I was zinging along, and I went, well, what can I unlock with my free experience? And well, I got enough to do the tracks and enough to do the radio. And I used the free experience on the radio, and I went,
no.
Why?
No.
Why did I do that? That chunk could have been used to grab one of these first. I'm like, ah. So.
Well, I hate it when you do it and you haven't done the tracks, and if you get that little message coming up saying you can't carry the weight, so you can't
That's right.
buy it. Yeah, you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I've done the tracks first.
They've kind of stopped that. Most of the new stuff that they've released, you don't need the tracks to carry the stuff. It's been a while since I've run into that with one of the new releases. There's certainly tanks out there. That's kind of a thing they don't do much anymore. And in fact, this whole line's been very streamlined. It had one extra of everything. There was no two guns or two engines or any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's good though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my radio man is the difference between this thing, being good or bad, my friends. No.
Okay.
No. No. Really, the first gun's not great, but it's okay. I mean, what's it got? We've got 500 alpha, 265 pen standard, and 305 with gold. That's a little bit anemic taken on 10s, but it's not bad. But you get the big gun, you're looking at 650, 290, and 325, and that hurts. You start dropping at tier 9. You start hitting things for 650. That's tough.
And dispersion's not that bad. It's 0.34, isn't it? So
I got mine down to 0.3 with food.
oh, have you? There you go.
Yep.
So it's not a huge derpy gun, is it?
Yeah, I'm running rammer, IA, and turbo on it, and some food.
Yeah. Do you think the turbo makes a difference then?
I don't know. I'm in a turbo phase of my gaming in World of Tanks right now. I put turbos on a lot, nearly everything, just about. No, not maybe not. No, not on the Manicore. So there are exceptions, but I just like the extra zip to get around the map, especially on the painfully slow things.
I just can't imagine because the actual gain you get because of the weight of the thing. Anyway, it's not really going to.
It's not much. It's not much. Yep, I get a little bit out of it. This is interesting that it doesn't. Oh, there you go. It does show you. So I'm getting 4 kilometers an hour out of the turbo.
All right. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yep.
That means you get your tea hot.
And I get the wind flowing through my locks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't have locks.
You have no. You don't even have lock.
No. For wind to blow through my hair, I'd have to drop my pants and stick my arse out of the turret, mate. There you go.
Well, I mean, there's an added benefit for your crew. That is the smarter end.
It is a smart idea. I'll be seeing things that I don't normally see.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. Okay, so I've added the Vipera. This is a beast, man.
It is a beast, but everybody knows it's a beast, don't they?
Yep. So I've got this one set up with the Bounty Turbo, Bounty Hardening, and an IA. running food and a significant, in fact, all gold. Although why I have a bunch of HE, I don't know. That's kind of dumb. This is a weird setup. Why would I even do that? Here we go.
Yeah, that's all.
There we go. All right. So
To be
that's...
honest, Cadius, yes, I did have a mullet. Sorry, just to
Oh.
answer a question in chat. I did have a mullet. I can prove it as well, but I'm not going to.
I had a mullet-esque
Yeah,
haircut
it was
as well.
The thing, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
It was the thing. Yeah.
Although I had also the long hair flock of seagulls thing going on.
Did you?
Yeah,
You
it was.
were one of them, were you?
Well, I didn't put it. It wasn't all teased up. It was just like hanging in
Oh,
my
you just
face.
flopped it over your face.
Yeah. You know, because you
Things
got
you do when
because you got to be the surly counterculture guy when you're a teen, right?
Yeah, exactly that. Hate the world.
Yep. Next stream maybe Friday. I hope, guys. We'll see what happens. And that's it for channel news. Anything to add there, Pilgrim? Did you get attacked by hornets or ants or crocodiles?
We've covered wild beasts of Florida as well, haven't we?
Guido's Mutual of Omaha, Florida Adventures.
Yeah.
Need to start a New Zealand line and have the Bob Simple. I just saw a picture of that the other day. I don't know what I was looking at, but somebody had a picture of it. All right, let's shill, my friend.
Oh yes. I've actually unpacked
Blue light
Got it.
special. You know what, guys? There's just really not much. They want you to buy some boxes, and in fact, in the true spirit of shilling, the last day for buying the current iterations of boxes is today.
Yeah.
And now that we've said that, let's give away 5.
Oh, that's cool.
Good luck. 5 boxes. All right.
Oh, raffle.
And while that is going on, let's shill. Figure out what World of Tanks is trying to sell us. What do we got here? Into the premium shop we go, Pilgrim. Bravely.
Yeah, I'm there. Look at that. Featured.
Boxes.
Boxes. Featured.
We got boxes.
What's the other thing featured? Boxes and...
Watt Plus. Watt Plus.
Oh, dude, they are
Hey, can
pushing it so hard,
you...
aren't
Can you gift Watt Plus? Huh. Guess you can. Hold on a minute. I don't know. Let me do it this way. Kind of curious, actually. Oh, that's boxes. I don't want that. I know I can gift those. Gotta go back to what? Oh, geez, stop it. Here we go. We do that. We do purchase. Nope.
they? No.
You cannot. It's just confirm and pay, and that's it. All right. So we don't want to do that. That's a bummer. That would be cool if you could gift Watt Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, good point, Cliffy. It's irritating that it doesn't. Yeah, whatever. You should be able to do pay by month, but
Yeah, because they do it with Twitch. You can gift sub Twitch or YouTube.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a subscription. Yep, you're right. Okay. WZ-111, Alpine Tiger. Remember when they were talking about getting rid of Pref tanks for so long?
Yeah.
And everybody was up in
That's gone
arms.
away, innit?
And then we talked about how they were still selling it even though they were going to get rid of it and all that, blah, blah, blah. But here it is, still trucking along all these years later.
Oh, yeah.
The old Alpine Tigre with the 3D skin. Also, the T7 combat car. 50 boxes. The T1E6, which I think they call a collector's gem, but I believe was given away at Christmas or something
Yeah.
one year. Or maybe, was it given away at Christmas or was it the
No, it
Bir-
wasn't
birthday.
giveaway. It was one of the anniversaries they did, wasn't it?
It was either Christmas or an anniversary. It was definitely one of those. The combat car, Houdang, is funny at times.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Further up.
Is it? Did it? Oh, there it
above
is.
the,
Yeah, there it is.
It's by the boxes.
Yeah. But man, it can be expensive if you're going to run around chucking gold out of it.
It can be fun. I mean, you know.
Yeah. But it's, what, tier 2, I think? Yeah. Yeah, tier 2.
Yeah.
Not much going on in tier 2 these days except for bots and the few new people who are showing up. The Marbreaker. Probably one of the worst tier 8s in the game. Let's see. Let's find out where Mr. Marbreaker sits these days.
Yeah, let's have a look at that, because people have bought it thinking it looks like a mouse, so it should be as good as a mouse.
Should be a mouse. I'm going to assume it's
Yeah.
down here somewhere. Oh, look, it is.
Yeah.
Look at the poor T26 E5P. I mean, he's just basement dwelling like you read about. Where's the... What's the other one called? The other version of it. Why is it not on here? Isn't there another version?
No, it's called the...
Oh, the P is the Patriot. Where's the one that just has the letters? Right? What is going on with that? Where is it? There's two versions of it, right?
Yeah.
Did I just miss it? Hold on. Oh, page 1 of 2. Ah, there's more. I didn't realize. That's hilarious. There's more. There's so many tiers. Here's his buddy. His buddy's even further down here. So you do that, and all of a sudden the Marbreaker doesn't look quite as horrible. It's way up. It's way up here. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm really surprised the Chrysler K is that low, but nobody plays it.
Yeah, you would think, but yeah.
Nobody plays it. That's actually a pretty good tank. So.
I think it's an acquired taste when it comes to its place.
Some of this can get interesting because some of these tanks are actually pretty decent, and it has a lot to do with who's playing them. And then people stop playing them. The good players walk away from them. Why? Because all these exist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just look at this. This is insane. Look how many. How far down do you have to go before you get to the first win rate tech tree? The 100-01, way down here.
Yeah. That's the trouble, isn't it? You know, you got premiums who are doing that.
That's exactly right, Brother Todd. That's what I was sort of remembering myself back in the day when that thing was just an absolute beast. Really, at the beginning, I think, Pilgrim, of the kind of hold down meta, probably 5 or 6 years ago or whatever it was when that came out, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
We were starting to get that whole strong turret thing going on, and it had one in terms of where it lived in the game at that time.
Yeah.
And it could spit rounds down range, and it was an absolute beast back then. But yeah, it's definitely fallen off.
It's fallen off, and it's sort of settled into its own little parameters now, its own little niche.
Same thing with the
People are actually
Chrysler.
saying that the box thing has been good for them.
Good.
I haven't actually bought any. I've never bought any, but people are saying they're getting what they're getting. They're getting the 3 tanks. They're getting 2 million silver, 6,700 gold. Sergeant Major Ross says it was worth it. He got the 3 tanks. Yeah. How many boxes was that? 75. Okay. What's 75? How much is 75?
I don't know what the Ace. Let's check it out. In case you didn't know, guys, you can click right on it now in this tomato.gg and get a lot more information out of it. So it's $25.94. That's 100%. It's $21.62 for a 3 mark. Is that good or bad? I actually don't know, to be honest. I don't track 3 mark stuff too much. Expected win rate 62. It actually and it falls off. I mean, at 50%, better players, people just do worse in it than they do for anything else. That's interesting. Wow. So let's just compare. This is 2162 for the T26E5. Let's go to the number 1 guy. Let's just look at the BZ. 3614. A full 1,000 more.
There you go.
Yeah, guys are saying.
High in the stats.
Guys are saying it's low, and I didn't really know, but that is low, especially if you look at this dude. This dude's at 36 and 41.29 for 100%. In fact, at about the T26's 3 mark is a 1 mark on the BZ. Holy cow. And look at this thing's tank curve. Pretty far across the board, everybody overperforms in it. That is about as clear-cut an example of an overpowered tank as you get right there. That's
Yep,
crazy.
stats don't lie.
That's crazy. Because this is one thing you sort of need to look at. There's a real lot of interesting data you can get, or at least let's call it information or expansion of information. If you look at the tanks
Yeah.
and you come over here and you look at them individually and kind of see the way the curves go, it's some really fascinating stuff you can figure out, or induce, I guess, infer, deduce, infer, that kind of stuff. So it's more than just these numbers. All right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a nice little information package. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't realise he did the curves, so that's cool.
Yeah, just click on the tank itself and all that stuff will come up for you.
Cool.
Where were we? What were we doing? I'm
We
lost.
were trying to shill.
Oh, we're
We
shill.
got as far as, yeah,
All right.
the Caliban.
Oh, the Marbreaker. The Marbreaker sent us off into that rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
it did, didn't it?
Yes.
Bit of a tangent.
Type 62. That's a fun light tank. I actually like that one
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Cool.
The double barrels back, guys. The Object 703. It's another tank that lives near the top. Pretty good. You got the old FL10 whatnot. The Caliban is available.
Yeah.
And that's it for all of that stuff.
That lot.
Premium account specials. I didn't find anything else here that I thought that was very interesting. Where are we on the giveaway? Did the giveaway close? Not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite. Oh, we have a duel. Cliffy won the duel.
have a
Well
duel.
done. Well done, Cliffy. Need a little animation for that or something. Nothing else going on there.
Yeah, cool.
And of course, Battle Pass. So that's it, guys.
Yeah.
A few tanks that are for sale. We are finishing up Battle Pass.
Yeah, we've got, where am I at now? 30. So I haven't done a lot, but I'll get it done before the end of the session.
On your third chapter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it'll get done.
Missions wise, fellas, what we've got going on now is we are finishing up Recon mission until the 29th, so that's got 8 days. Call to Mars is done today, so if you have any last minute stuff to knock out with that. I don't know if you guys know this, but there was a code for some goodies in terms of Call to Mars. They're right here. And they work. You get to pick 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 different commanders. I think there's something in the Call to Mars game dealing with these guys. But if you're not even playing Call to Mars, grab one of these codes right here and you'll get these goodies right off the bat. It worked for me. So some pudding and tea, some whatever they are, these things. I always forget what directives. Some directives, some paint, stuff like that. A training guide, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 paints. That's Blue says. 12 paints.
12 paints. Yeah, maybe you have some chocolate or pudding, depending on which one you pick. So we have we have Thomas Farmer. He's from Germany. Okay, Tomas. Okay, all right. We have Aurora Adams, who's from the UK. Okay, fine. We have Mikhail Kostrisin from the USSR. Makes sense. We have Stephen Horton from the USA. Okay. And Monica George from Sweden.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who makes this up.
How come 3 of them have their space helmet on and these 2 are breathing space air? What's going on?
Oh, they're magic.
Does he have a sword on his back? What is that sticking up back there? Is he about to...
Let me have a look. Can't see from here. Hang on.
Swagger stick? Sword? Is it actually... Is it the hilt of a sword up behind him right there?
I think it might be, or it could be a lightsaber.
Look, I'm going to tell you something that's impressive. Madame Aurora and that hairdo in the space helmet,
Yeah.
that is something else right there.
I think it's a flexible helmet. I think she's pulled it out here like that, put it on, and it snaps into place.
It's a flexible helmet. He could be happy to see me, Pig. He could be. Oh, maybe they are in 0G and the hair's floating. Okay. Yep. Got it. Anyway,
Yeah.
There's your codes, fellas. If you want to grab one of those codes right there, go
They
to
have
it.
gills.
They are the lizard people, my friends, the lizard people. What else is going on in terms of missions and specials? We have, let's see, it's the Manticore and the WZ. I already talked about Call to Mars is done today. There is a trade-in right now, guys. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Here we go. Trade-in spring garage keeping. So there are some new tanks for purchase. King Tiger Cap.
Just
what?
On this, just on all this, before you go into that.
Well, I want to start a controversy, but go ahead.
Well, before you go into your controversy, I've noticed that the EU and the NA are now completely and totally synced, in so much that
Correct.
when I went to do the upgrade for the micro patch for Friday, it showed the spring garage keeping in the EU. I want to say about 12 hours before it showed in the NA. So it's complete. Everything is now the same between the two when it comes to this. Remember, it was different. You go on the way, there would be different things in it. It's
so what?
Completely the same.
What they tend to do with the releases is they'll set a time of day, and then that will be the time of day. And since we're behind you, it comes up a little bit later for us.
Yeah.
Blues.
All the deals and everything else are all exactly the same now.
Blues Traveler. That was the controversy I wanted to start.
Do it.
The King Tiger captured, which was supposedly given to you for. Now, how are they going to track that?
Well, I don't know, because they've got things applied to the one that was given.
Because don't you lose it if you...
Yeah.
I don't know where we stand on that. Do you still lose the King Tiger captured if you no longer have Twitch Prime?
Well, I would imagine so, because it's the same as What Plus, isn't it? You lose that tank if you don't subscribe.
I know, but what if you now outright purchase it through this?
Yeah. They can't take it off you then, can they?
So the Amazon deal stopped.
And then it went on sale.
But then they gave it back. I still have mine. Or is it as long... That's my question. Is it as long as you're active, do you get it? Or what? Here's mine. I still have it.
See, Woody hasn't. Woody doesn't have it.
Did
they, Banzai? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, they sold it to us. What did we have to do to buy it? I don't remember. I must have done it. Maybe I did get it free. Good point, Cliffy. That is possibly why I still have it. Interesting. Hoodang doesn't... You don't have it available? Well, I haven't looked at the trade-in thing. It says it is. It says it is right here. Do you have it, Hoodang? Maybe you already have it. If you already have it, then you're not going to be able to get it, I guess. Got it in a box. Okay, so it's no longer just the Amazon thing. Cool. The 122, the Kampfpanzer 07, Basante. These are all pretty good. Lanson, Senlac, M4Y, nah. TS5, good. Object, so that's an interesting crew. So these are new additions. That means there's a bunch of other stuff in there. For example, you can purchase a low for 9,800 in exchange for a Dicker Max. Obviously, the Dicker Max price comes off of that. I really wish... Old vehicles trade in, new vehicle to purchase, want to trade in. Oh, here they are. So here's the full list available for purchase. All these guys. Here's all the stuff for trade-in, so you can check that.
Time-gated.
Whoa.
Of some way, because I can't see the King Tiger. I'm looking for it now.
Things not...
It's not showing me the King Tiger to trade.
I think they were buying... Hoodang, I think they were buying a low with that plan. They were trading a Dicker Max in to take some of the price off of a Lurva. They have a lot of stuff in here. So what you can't trade in, not available for trade-in. Not available for trade. Meaning you can't give away? Vehicles available. Okay. So you cannot give away these tanks. You cannot give away the 144, 122, the ISU 130, Canon, the first Cannon Jagdpanzer with the 90mm or whatever's on it. You cannot give away the Kurovets or the Type 59G. Wonder why you can't give away the 59G.
Because it's gold, and it'd be worth more than the gold. because you paid, I don't know, 5 billion gold or something.
Well, I mean, you'd be foolish to give it if you spent all that on it. But it's all just in-game resources, so who cares? I've never done this. I don't have a reason to because I don't need available for purchase. Let's see if there's anything here I would want to get. Turtle 92. I have all
Have
this.
you actually been to? Have you been to the game UI and tried to find? I mean, you'll have the King Tiger captured, don't you?
I have all this stuff. I mean, there might be.
I can't find it to buy.
Yeah, there might be a double of one of these that I don't have, but I don't think so. Yeah, there's nothing in here. But for those who are interested in it, there it is. We can trade in. What else, man? What else we got? Missions and specials. We've got recon mission we talked about. Remember the new Twitch coins, guys? Standard push. Go over here and go to your tokens and get your stuff. Here, let's just grab some of that right there. Why not? All right.
Something here piqued my interest, and not a lot does pique my interest these days.
What's that?
The World of Tanks miniatures game now available at Barnes and Noble. That looks a little bit of fun.
Yeah, they got like little models. I mean, it's a lot like the little 3D dude you sent me. So
yeah.
They've got different tanks, and you roll dice for pens and stuff. It's true RNG. It'll be exactly like the game.
True RNG.
True RNG, man.
No weighted dice in this game. I think it's quite...
Trying to find the last challenge. Now, I missed the second challenge, but apparently they've been doing a challenge every couple weeks, maybe every month, for the tanks that are the Battle Pass tanks. And right now the 15-16 one is going, but you have to... There it is, Final Battle Pass Challenge. But you have to go down here and join the challenge. And then you obviously have to play the tank. But there's goodies. Somebody in here actually placed, I don't remember who it was mentioning it in chat, that they placed like 30-something or 40-something like that, and got some goodies out of it. And there's a raffle as well. We plugged this a couple weeks back, but click the button and go through all that to join it. You can also join Discord, but if you've already joined it, I don't know how that works. I suppose you could unjoin and rejoin. I don't know if they track that. No idea. Yes, Wayne. Wayne's like, I have to make coffee and go pee. So 1 hour, we'll come back for subjects du jour, and I am out of coffee, so it is time. We shall return in 1 hour, my friends. Where is it? Oh.
Offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came, to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts, and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. So in what? If you want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek, for the winners only, not the weak. Guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. To the swamplands came the mountain man to teach his wisdom and pay his due. A man with a name only known to a few. To his followers his words are true. Guido is the man, big and gruff. He used to fly jets, but now he does the tanking stuff. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. The mountains are home where he watches the moose and hummingbirds aplenty. But he saw the need for the Watt community to have a guru and lead them gently. Down the road to Unicom land.
All right, we're back. So now we are going to give away the first 5 boxes. Let's see. We'll do another one too. But this one goes to Bonzi Duck.
Bonsai.
Bonzi Duck. All right, let's go give that away. Is that the account you wanted to go to there, Bonzi? Bonsai?
First time he's
All
ever
right.
won.
Is it really?
I think it is, you know.
Oh, that's
I can't
good.
remember Banzi actually winning anything before.
Well, we tried to stop it from happening.
Yeah, we did.
Can't have everything though, can you?
Well, you can, but you wouldn't be happy, would you?
Bonzi Duck. Boom, boom. 5 boxes on the way.
Definitely rigged.
It's always rigged. Bonzi, if you are near your client, let us know what you got. Madam Yorktown would like to point out they won a giveaway once before for Watt PC, but I don't play. Woody, thanks for the sub, my friend. Much appreciated. Okay. Subjects du jour, Pilgrim.
Yes, subject. to
Which
yours,
means the day of the subjects.
let's do it. Indeed.
Yeah. Call to Mars. We talked about it last week. I don't want to belabor. I didn't play it. Did you play it?
No. No.
So it's an interesting subject to me. See if people put it in.
What makes it an interesting subject to you then? Is it the controversy?
It is the controversy. It's the idea that they spent the resources, the time, and the effort to put this thing together, and then, which is not, it has nothing to do with the main game, but has awards that have something to do with the main game.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you get people, and I bet we're going to get some of this in here. But one of the standard things you get is, oh, it's not that hard. It only takes you an hour. I'm like, okay. It only takes you an hour a day for X days to go through it. I'm like, okay. That you could have been playing the game you liked better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but the rewards. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the tail wagging the dog, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right, Woody? And that's part of the discussion, isn't it? Because, yes, the only way right now to get any extra experimental equipment was to play some dopey mode that they made.
Yeah. And they did it on purpose, so they made you play that mode.
But why?
I don't know what the reason is, but they did make you do it if you want that kit.
Ostensibly,
There's no reason.
ostensibly, right, Pilgrim? It's because they want to make fun stuff that's engaging that gets people to play.
Yes. Yes.
But isn't that what their game?
I
Isn't that what their
get-
game is?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I was about to say. Is that the fun stuff for me comes from playing the game, not these weird modes, not the Martians or the. I mean, all right, there was a couple of modes which were fun. The old football game was fun. The race cars was fun, but it was fun for an hour a month, not an hour a day.
Right, right.
Just do it, and not do it again.
So they have this balancing act that they have to do. They have to make it. They have to make it worth your while to get you to play. Well, let me back that up. Let me just back off that for a second.
Yeah.
If it was intrinsically by itself a great fun mode, they wouldn't need all that shit.
No, they wouldn't, because people would play it.
Because
Because, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
so is their assumption? I'm just trying to break into this whole mentality and the game design and stuff. Obviously, the assumption from their standpoint is we've made a fun mode, right? That they don't. I don't think they go out and go, "Hey, let's make a crap mode that no one likes and force them to play it by giving good."
No.
Like that's you can believe in that conspiracy kind of idea. I don't. I think they honestly are trying to make a cool mode that people will like.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, we've made a cool mode, so let's give them rewards because this is the design or the mechanic we use. It's the carrot stick thing, and that'll get them to play it and stuff. That's what it is in World of Tanks itself, right? You play, you get experience, you get credits, you move on, you get more stuff, you buy more stuff, you get more tanks, higher level, blah 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 blah. So it's the same idea. There's nothing new there. That's just how internet games and games in general work.
Absolutely.
The carrot and stick. But then I just keep continually ask myself, I'm like, okay, that's great, but it's actually not that great of a mode. It's not very in-depth. It's just kind of a fun throwaway thing, and you clearly spent a decent amount of resources on it. Not enough to develop a whole new game, but it's opportunity cost. What could you have done with those hours and developers and people and thoughts and planning and all, the whole thing that you brought to bear to build a Mission to Mars bumper car game that is very surface fun, not deep at all, and then you tie it into your other game by putting experimental equipment in it, and it's really not that compelling of a mode.
No, and again, for me, the connection, as opposed to the correlation, the connection between the Martian thing and World of Tanks doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned.
Almost nothing.
The same umbrella.
You're right.
So
Almost. Yeah. At least in Chaffee races, you were racing a Chaffee on a map that you recognized. At least in 8-bit, it was tanks shooting each other.
Yeah.
At least in soccer, which is probably the furthest one away from it, it was tanks driving around. This is a space buggy.
Yeah. A fictional space buggy that somehow does things on Mars that gets you experimental equipment you put on real tanks that you've got in your game.
Yeah.
Well, there you are. Well, real tanks, but No, it doesn't. I have not touched it. I've not bought boxes. I've not touched it. Oh, talking boxes. Bonsai is just listed. What do you got?
What did he get?
Trading books. Three crew skins. 1 coin. 500k XP. Person reserve 2.
1 coin. What does 1 coin mean?
No.
1 coin.
Oh, it's crew skins 1 coin 500k. Am I reading it wrong?
Oh, coin, as in silver coin.
Coin.
Okay, now I'm tracking. That's just my inability to read and process there, Bonzi.
Okay.
I'm with Pig. This has always been basically my question with all of these. It was always been a weird decision to me to concentrate on this stuff so much as they do. I don't.
You would have to get some sort of comparison. You would have to sit down and go, okay, let's say Call of Duty, another long-lasting game. And in Call of Duty, they decided to have an airsoft mode where you just go around shooting pellets at each other of paint.
Really?
for a laugh or something
Okay.
like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they don't do that, do they? Because it's not part of what Call of Duty is about. You know.
Well, I
Or
don't-
They would have to do catapult games where everybody goes and builds a catapult, fires it at each other. It's not
I don't play enough other games. Seriously, do other developers do as much of this as Wargaming does? Maybe they do. I know that things for holidays have always kind of been a thing, right? Yeah, people, they want to do something kind of fun and whimsical or whatever, and you see that. But it feels to me like Wargaming has just gone off this other mode off ramp, and they are driving across the wilderness. They're just like every couple months we have to have a special mode
Yeah.
with new mechanics and special power ups and stuff. I don't get it.
No. I don't know whether it's. Well, there's a couple of things you can infer from the things that have developed through Wargaming. When they brought the Twitch team in, not the Twitch team, but the Fast Finger team in, maybe that was part of their mindset, is that they would do these because for them it's fun. They would develop these modes where it's like arcade or it's penny arcade stuff or whatever it is, just these modes, because for them it's a fun thing to do. Notwithstanding, 90% probably of the player base really doesn't care too much for these modes. They're fun, some of them, don't get me wrong, they're
Yeah.
fun, but they're not part of why I do World of Tanks. You for 12 years, me for 9.5, nearly 10 years. I mean, I don't do it for all the modes, I do it for the core game.
Hey, Madam Yorktown says, why can't they keep these event game mode maps in the rotation for a weekend? So make it are you saying make it a shorter run? Just make it a weekend thing every now and again? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Not tied into anything, just a completely separate mode and as such, not tied into the game.
And as always, I don't begrudge people liking the modes and doing it. I mean, gaming is gaming. You like what you like. It's what you were talking about earlier, Pilgrim, and some of the chatters, is the experimental equipment tie-in thing. You know, that the idea that you're missing out on something that could be really important for you in the main game, and you've got to go do this other goofy game that you may not like. And so that's what it really is for me. Fine, whatever. Put the goofy mode in. I don't want to play it, but now I can't get the dang equipment that goes to the main game.
Yeah, absolutely. It shouldn't have no tie into the main game. I mean, things like, I remember the football never had a tie into the game that I can remember. It was good fun to go and do. Fire your gun at a great big ball, bouncing it around a soccer pitch. Sorry, can't do football for you guys, can I?
Well, I guess it's interesting you say that, because I suppose I'm not bothered by silver or PRs or some of these lower level decals and whatever that
but if it's equipment and stuff.
Well, specific equipment, like special stuff, like experimental that I can't otherwise get. That's the putting that behind the mode gate is a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
I mean, take the map itself and implement in the core game for a weekend. Oh, okay. Actually, that would be kind of funny, because that is a really small map. That would be absolute chaos if you just
Make it for tier 10.
just plopped everyone in. Take a 15v15 and then just plop them all in amongst each other, so that it's an immediate brawl, and then kind of have some of the mechanics, some of the spacey mechanics. That would actually be hilarious. That would be hilarious. I still want to see a 15v15 artillery
that would be so good.
random battle mode or something on a weekend.
Yeah.
Artillery madness, just nothing but you have to play an artillery. Yeah, tier 10 Middengard. I would even just mix them all together though, Gator. I'd chuck them all on the same map and just completely mixed up and say, go.
But I tell you what I would like to see for a one weekend. If they're going to do a special mode, do any tier can platoon together weekend. That would be awesome, just for one weekend.
Yeah.
Like it used to be back in the day. Can you imagine that, man? T1 running around shooting Mausers and all sorts, not doing any damage.
So just to go back to it real quick, because I want to cover this that Hudang said, because that again is the comment. They make it bearable enough and easy enough to get the missions complete, to get the rewards, and that's what.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's still the same thing. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't worry. Oh, it's bearable enough. So I'll just waste an hour of my time. That is a thin thin excuse from the company in terms of trying to get people to play it. To go, well, we'll make it bearable enough.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Can you imagine setting out as a developer with those words? Let's make a mode just about bearable.
I'll tell you what, 5 years ago when I was still building the account and doing stuff, I probably would have for that very reason.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I want to get that experimental equipment, so I'll just bear with it. At this point, I'm done doing that. But it's easy to say that when I have as much crap as I do. And so
Yeah,
far,
no, that's true. Yeah.
so far the experimental equipment does not seem to be that mandatory.
No, you
I
can
don't-
still be effective in game without it.
I don't even have a tank with it on. I think I put it on one tank, and to be honest, I've forgotten which one I put it on. So it's on a tank somewhere. I have no idea what it's on. Blues Traveler's like, well, I'm just playing it right now. All right, so there you go. Call to Mars. I don't get it. Common Test 1.21 is coming up here, guys, and it looks like that is mostly more modes stuff. So we're talking about Onslaught, Frontline. Trying to get back to this. Actually, while we're sitting here chatting, let's go ahead and complete that. We're gonna give one more set of boxes away. So good luck to everybody on that one. And let's go over here and check out. Where is it? Okay, so Common Test 2. So we're about to get a patch. There's actually a micro patch tomorrow, I understand, on the 22nd, which is probably going to break my damn replays again. That will drive me a little bit crazy if that happens. They do that, man. When they release a new patch.
That's 2 micro patches they've thrown
I know.
out, isn't it?
It seems like, and because they patched the patch, because in the recent past they've had trouble with all of their patches, and so I'll get a couple weeks where my replays will get broken 3 or 4 times. It drives me crazy.
Because it's the last patch was just purely for Onslaught. There was nothing in that patch for the main game whatsoever.
Well, they're always fixing stuff that they broke.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Steel Hunter Reborn, Frontline 2023. Okay, so we have some dates actually. Steel Hunter Reborn. Wait, what? Oh, that's for the test. Never mind. I thought these were release dates, but that's for the test. Never mind. So from the 21st to the 24th, you can play the new Frontline on the Common Test, and then Onslaught will be on the 25th. So we have at least another week or 2 before this is released. This is Common Test 2. I don't know how many they're planning on having for this. There was some stuff on this for your personal service record where you can move stuff around, and there's also the ranking system apparently in this one as well. That's coming up. View range rings have been broken since 1.20. I haven't noticed that. Are they? What's going on with it, Cliffy? So they show shorter than they should be, and then
Oh, really?
yeah. 717. 717 tank bat. First chat, question mark. Does that mean you have a question, or you're just confused?
Yeah, fire away.
Fire away, man.
Yeah.
Fire away with your question.
Do your raffle. Don't forget there's a raffle on, peeps.
When are they going to make Battle Hit standard instead of a mod? That is a great question. Not working as intended. One must presume as soon as they're done developing things like Mission to Mars. I don't know.
Yeah, once they've
Well, I mean,
once they've wasted their time on all that good stuff.
right. That's it, right, Pilgrim? I mean, that's really the bottom line, the opportunity cost of things they could be doing while they're doing all this other stuff.
There is so much that they could actually do for this game by spending time developing it, the way we've talked about it. But they must spend just, if not hours, days, going through all this other stuff. I don't know whether it's where's the driving force, one wonders. Is it a financial thing, the driving force? Is it that they have to make money so they do this? Or is it somebody up there going, this is a good idea? I think it's to do with money. I really do.
Well, it's always to
Buy
do.
boxes, mate.
At the bottom. Yeah, somebody actually mentioned that in the chat. It was just they said it was a general excuse to sell boxes, and it could be, but I think you could have done that without the mode.
Yeah. Yeah, easy. You could have had some sort of... You remember the day when we used to have marathons?
Yeah, those are gone.
Yeah. Oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
You don't see them, do you?
those seem to be gone.
Yeah.
Could be a test bed for future games. That's true. Yep. All right, so yeah, so Common Test, that's coming out. Onslaught. Actually, that was last week, so that's gone. We talked about Japanese TDs. What else we got going on? I think that's about it, fellas. I mean, there's not a whole lot else going on right now. We're just finishing up Battle Pass. There's the info on the micro patch, so it's on the 22nd. This is EU.
Yeah, which means it'll be the day after for NA, won't it?
There's some pictures for the 3D styles for next Battle Pass, which presumably starts in June. Unless there's going to be a pause for some kind of event, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be so June, July, August, September, October. No, yeah, so if they're going to get 3 in, it's going to start in June.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
Oh,
it.
did he, Cliffy? Oh, you might get it. NA might get it. Or at the same time as the EU.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it is, Blues. I think you've got that. He's hit the nail on the
What's
head.
that?
The developers are a certain type of person. That's why they've hired them.
Ah,
That's why we're getting hot tub modes.
tank hot tub mode.
Tank hot tub mode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we're just basically in a bit of a lull, finishing up old Battle Pass. I only have 21 coins or something like that, so
Yeah, I don't have. I'm nowhere near. I mean, I'm using the coins for bombs, but I do want to get it done so I can get these points used up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm stage 30 now, so.
Well, yeah, because you've got to finish the last one to unlock, so you can actually do your thing.
But we've still got a week or so, half, haven't we? Hang on, 30th of May. So we've still got
9 days
9
or so.
days.
Yeah.
It'll be done. I'll do it.
Well, it won't cost you
What
too
are
much
at?
gold.
Where are you at?
I'm done.
You're done. You did it.
Yeah, so I'm just building points now, and I actually got 1,000 points past the total I had when I finished, so I got another 100 bonds. I don't think I might get to 1,000. It's 9 days, maybe. I might get one more set of 100 bonds, maybe, in there. If they want to sell content, just throw a bunch of bombshells in various states of under. Yeah, yep. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever. That is one way to do it. You have to buy your way through next Battle Pass, seasonal NPS Ranger job starts.
Oh,
Oh, no kidding.
Good for you, Artillery.
Is that the, Fire Spotter or something like that? Grumpy old man's got along. What do we? That's why I moved to American Truck Simulator. You just drive around the country and pick up. No stupid. So Grumpy, are there other people? Is that a MMO, or is it just you? Well, I could see that being a lot of griefing, people crashing into you and stuff.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I have seen people stream that on occasion. It looks really interesting. Some of them have really elaborate setups, Pilgrim. They've got the big wheel, and they got the shifter, and several screens, and they're up in the big rig driving.
Yeah, they've got the old steering wheel controller and all that sort of good
I mean, it's like the
stuff,
DCS of truck driving. It's awesome.
Yes.
Wu-Tang drives his truck with a mouse. Blues Traveler's like, I did that crap for a living. No way I'm going to sit there for hours and drive a truck. So my understanding is the roads are basically accurate, but I think the time dial, are they actually shorter, or is it no shit, if I'm going to go 100 miles, I'm driving the same as 100 miles?
Oh, man. That would be absolutely mind-numbingly bad if it was. Yeah, you can't fall asleep at the wheel, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Convoys, that's funny. So can you get pulled over? Do you have to stop at the way stations? Time is sped up. Okay.
Did you get the old coming up behind you? Whoop. Pulling you over.
1,000 miles would take 1 hour. Can you actually set it to be 1 for 1? To go, hey, if I'm going to drive, I'm going to do a 500-mile trip, and it is no kidding going to be a 500-mile trip in terms of time.
Yeah, imagine
Oh.
Yes. I might actually download. I'm going to download that later on and see what it. Yeah, I won't have a steering wheel, but yeah, try it with the mouse.
So I've actually seen people. Then there's a lot of videos of this that will do Microsoft Flight Simulator, and do a full 13-hour flight, and they'll record the whole thing. You know.
Wow.
Now I don't know if they fast forward through some of the boring bits, but they do show a significant amount of it. And theoretically,
technically, if you, I mean, I'm not saying military pilots, but if you're a civilian pilot and you're flying, you know, an Airbus or something, the exciting bit is at the beginning and the end. The bit in the middle is just absolutely mind-numbingly boring because it's all on autopilot.
yeah.
I mean, you might as well just record the first bit and the last bit.
Well, I mean, one of the pilots will be up there at the least. Usually both are up there, but at least one, and he'll be monitoring everything. So you still there's still a lot to do. There's reporting points and other kind of upkeep. But yeah, generally
you can't go to a camp cot and lie down and go to sleep then.
Well, if it's a long haul, if it's a real long haul, and I don't know how many hours it takes before they do this, there's going to be a rule that says you got to have an extra crew at blah. But they have an extra crew. So on the overseas things, those long hauls, you don't necessarily know it unless you see it. But there's extra pilots on board because there's on the big, especially on the wide bodies, they've got these hidden compartments like up in the tail or somewhere, depending on the model of the airplane. That's a crew quarters. They can actually go in there and they have beds. Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's cool.
So one crew will be sleeping, chilling out, and the other crew will be flying. And at some point during the flight, they'll swap out. Now, if you're back in the cattle area with all the cattle, you probably don't see it because a lot of the crew quarters are closer to the. There are some that have them in the tail, but anyway, you'd have to be paying attention before you realize the crew had actually swapped out.
Wow. And I like that idea because when I flew to Hong Kong in 1984, like this is how long ago it was, we flew in a VC-10. Well, I don't know if you know the VC-10s, but the seats face backwards. So
really?
I spent 18 hours facing backwards. And it's a small enough jet. It was a RAF thing. It was jet. Passenger jet. And I don't think they had a second crew. At all.
Really?
I think the two pilots when they came out.
Hey, hold on a second. Give me one. Entertain the troops. I got to say goodbye to some guests that are leaving right now. Be right back.
I'll entertain the troops. When we got to Hong Kong, the two pilots or whoever they were flying the plane came out of the door to go down the steps after we got on, and they looked like they'd been dragged through a bush backwards. They looked seriously tired after 18 hours. I think we're in the hands of two geezers who've done like 18 hours in the cockpit. Sing, Wayne. What do you want to sing? American Pie. I think Madam Yorktown, that is a good idea. I think we should play a co-op survival game. I've been trying to drag his backside into DayZ for a long time. He just doesn't like it. He doesn't get into it. So yeah, might be able to. They want me to sing. They've got popcorn out and everything. They want me to sing, Guido. They've got
good Lord,
popcorn going, and I can't sing at the moment. I've got a bit of a frog in the. They want me to sing some of.
Is that like a permanent frog in the throat or?
Yes, it is. I keep swallowing them from outside in the pond.
Ribbit. Yeah, we have some good friends that are moving back into town, and his wife and kids were here because she had come down to pay for the rental. They're going to build a house here and blah blah blah. But so they're doing the back and forth thing from south. Yeah, well, they got to go back because they got school. They're still finishing up school, so they're leaving today.
Oh, okay.
But
Madam Yorktown wants us to go and play a co-op survival game together at some point. And I was saying, I tried to join DayZ. You don't have the time at the moment.
I did get into DayZ a little bit for a while, but I've kind of fallen away from it. There was a while where I was actually playing it quite a bit. And you got me to where I could actually survive on some of the more vanilla servers, as long as I didn't get too far into the dangerous areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
nothing more frustrating than getting geared and then dying, is there?
Yeah. Yeah. I was learning though. I was figuring it out. They're doing a lot of Google food to go like because it's a bit wonky at times for like how do I cook a chicken? But it's not really straightforward, right? You got to sharpen a stick and then do this and whatever. And
but then you've got to think about it in almost real terms, because how else would you cook food? You would have to build a fire to cook food in the survival element.
Yeah.
And then you would have to be able to hold that food over the fire without burning it.
Right.
You couldn't just throw it into the embers. So actually, when you break it down, it makes sense.
But sometimes the
You can make gloves
steps,
out of rags.
sometimes the steps of how to
Yes. No. Yeah.
how to craft the thing you need is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once you learn it, you got it. All right, let's give it away in the next $5, guys. Here we go. The winner is Brother Todd.
Hard.
Brother
Yeah.
Todd.
Cool.
I think I have you as a friend. Are you in here? You are. Is that the account you wanted on there, Brother Todd? That's the assumption I will go with.
Yeah. Grumpy old man's on a run from Pueblo. I don't know where CO is to Tacoma.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, right now in the
On the
simulator?
You're on the simulator, I think.
Tacoma. That's called. Yeah, that's Tacoma.
All right. Okay.
Indian word, I believe. All right,
Yeah,
what do we?
well done.
Martian
Well done.
contain. Oh, stop it! Come on. Yeah, there we go. And yes, he wants to know. Okay, so 5 coming your way, Brother Todd. Give me a second. El Gifto. Brother. How is it spelled? Oh, there it is right there. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's a 0 in there. That's the one that got me. No, that's the wrong place. Brother, and then there's caps as well.
He's not made it easy, has he? That's one hard name, Brother Todd.
It's fighting me, man. Oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy. Hold on. We'll get there. We'll get there. Found it. All right, 5 boxes coming your way right now. All right, if you're near your client, let us know. Still thinking. And thank you. Okay, yes, it did go through. There we go. Well, what else, Pilgrim? I think that's it that I had.
Traded in his Panther M10 for a King Tiger. I can't even get to the King Tiger.
You traded your Panther M10?
Man.
Dude, that is a great tank. Wow. I love my Panther M10. It's been a long time since I played it. I played the snot out of it. Oh, I'm closing in pretty quickly, Pilgrim. The Manticore will move into the top 10 played tanks that I have.
Yes, I thought that would be coming soon.
Yeah. 2 more.
Oh, yeah.
So 1 more, it'll tie the Tiger 1, and then 1 after that, it'll push Tiger 1 to 11th, and it'll take the 10th spot on its way to 1,000 games.
Wow. You would when you first started, and yeah, I had this inkling because it was like you took it on as a challenge. I think because the CCs have absolutely slated it. I think you took it on as a challenge to prove everybody, well, not everybody wrong, but to prove a point. And I think who would have known you would do nearly 1,000 battles? And that is
There's a lot of
something
people.
else.
A lot of people have come around on that, especially people who slated it, like you said.
Yeah.
And now they're like, "Oh, these are good." I'm like, "Well, that's because you just looked at the numbers and didn't think about the wider picture."
There's a lot of that going on, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, the low. So the reason that's so many, and the T-34, the IS-6, and the Type 59. Remember, my goal then, and I don't play these very much at all now, if ever, was to get every tank in the game. So I needed silver. I also put equipment. At least I don't so much anymore. I was putting equipment on every single tank, so I was always silver poor. So these were my go-to silver creation beasts. Look at I actually have an Artie in my top 10. So I've got 1,500 and the 5355.
Oh, you just for missions though, Guido? Just for
Yeah, just for missions, definitely.
Just-
Yeah. So the reason that's so many is years ago, counter Artie used to be a thing, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And you could platoon. So me and Natso would platoon 5355s, and all we would do is counter.
Yeah.
So that way you have 2 people looking, you're talking. You can see where the shots are going out. Now the tracer thing wasn't as good then. Actually, there was a period where the traces were you couldn't see it.
Very good, yeah.
You couldn't see it from the ground like you can now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the tracers were quite significant, and there was a period of about a year and a half where the tracers were significant. where you hit, the splash was much bigger, so you could splash people pretty easily to death. And if you put two 53-55s anywhere near someone, they were gone.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we did that a lot. We'd just sit there and laugh, just nuking people. You know, I got to.
That's not like you, sir.
Dude.
That's not like you.
I got good enough. I got good enough that I could actually just shoot into positions where I knew Artie probably would be, and I'd just kill people before they even fired.
Yeah, lots of blind killing going on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Bugs, you have a very good summer, my friend. I hope it goes well in the job, in your seasonal job.
All right, man. Yeah, good luck. Be careful out there. Did he ever answer? Is he doing? Is he doing fire spotting?
National Ranger, I think you said. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some way back, wasn't it?
Yeah, T-34 and low were just pure credit makers. IS-6 was a bit of a patter for me. So you can see it's 65%. Again, that was years ago when Pref was a really powerful thing. This dude's been mission creeped, and I could make good credits with it. The Type 59, same idea because it's Pref. 53-55, that was a counter. This is interesting, the MT-25. I don't know if you remember, but that used to be the T-50-2.
Yeah, that's right.
Those are actually T-50-2 games, the vast majority of those
Right,
games,
okay.
before they swapped it out. And that was my go-to scout. The old T-50-2, before the new one came out, was a monster. Of course, KV-2. I mean, if you're having a bad day, you just get your KV-2 out.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yep.
You just feel good about yourself, don't you?
Type 64 was my go-to scout for low tiers for doing a lot of missions and stuff. LTTB is when they swapped out and got rid of the T-50-2 and eventually the LTTB at the scout reorganization. Early on, I loved this thing. I played the snot out of the LTTB. There's a lot of videos early in the channel of me playing the LTTB a lot. And the Tiger one I've just always liked. So there you go.
Well, the LTTB was always my go-to light tank until you started to get the problems with the EBRs and, you know, and then all the changes to the light tanks that came about. Because the LTTB was just absolutely awesome. And I ended up going from that to the LT432.
Yeah.
Because that was just simply a better light tank.
I'm trying to find my T-67. I bet I've got a couple hundred in it, maybe more. All right, let's go. T-67 is a tier 5, right? Let's go find that. I have probably a good amount of battles in it. I don't know how many, though. I should be right here.
Brother got camo,
238.
2 training booklets.
I got 238 in that.
Oh, did you?
I mean, as you can see, I have a lot of battles. First off, I'm at 90-something thousand, so I have a lot of tanks with 500 battles. I mean, just tons. A lot of these I haven't played much at all. Oh, the old Panzer 4H. Natsu and I used to play the snot out of that. That was a go-to. Yep.
You know, I mean, you remember the days when, like, even what was the American Tier 2 light tank? Oh, I'll tell you what it's called now. The M2 light tank.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm an old man because I am an old man, but they were great fun. They were just fun, and it was fun to play. You know.
Yeah.
Now it gets all silly serious at times. You're like tier 8, 9, and 10. You're like you get. I never used to get stressed by this game until I got up to tier 9s and 10s, and I got stressed. Like why?
I know. I think I've done a pretty good job myself of backing off that and not worrying about it. Every now and again I still get a little irritated, and usually it's after I've been playing for a while. And really, you know what really gets me? You sit down, you start playing, and you're having a really good day. You're playing really well and winning a lot and stuff. A lot of times that doesn't have it's not completely up to you. Sometimes you have 3 good games, and then 3 games your team just happens to win. Maybe you were mediocre or bad, and then you're like, ooh, I'm 6-0, I'm somebody. And then you have a bad streak, and then you get mad, right? You gotta. Yeah. That's what you gotta control.
Yeah.
And just
realize it's you.
And just freaking walk away, right? Just freaking walk away if you have to.
I am better at that now. I generally do. I'll tell you how I work it out. I generally do either an hour or 6-7 games and see how the flow feels.
Yeah.
And if it feels okay, I'll keep going. I'll do 20, 25 crack 30 games. If it doesn't, I walk away. I'm quite good at doing that now. That's it. 7 games, that's enough.
It's funny for me because a lot of times I'll sit down, I'll say, all right, I got an hour, and I'll crank up my personal reserves and I'll play a game or two, and then I can just get distracted. Maybe something for the channel, or I'm reading comments or answering or talking to somebody, or somebody has sent me a replay. I'm kind of figuring out what's going on with that, deciding whether I want to use it or not. And then I'll look up, and my PRs have gone from 48 minutes to 2 minutes left, and I played 2 games.
Yeah, that's so true, isn't it? Yeah.
Which is why I don't even worry about it. If I just sit down, I just turn on all the reserves, and if I only play 1 or 2 games, I don't care. I have so many. Who gives a schnick?
Yeah, exactly. I've got nearly 5,000 reserves. I can't use them quick enough,
Yep.
But, low gold. Play Leo or Luke's for fun bombing around the map. Yeah, it is true. And I miss a lot of the. I've said this before on stream. I miss the toilet bowl map, which was the tier 1 map, where you just all start at the top of the hill and you'd run down into that
Mittengard.
middle, blast each other. It's just so much fun.
Oh, I forgot the other tank I'm doing right now that I've decided to put into the mix. That's the tier 7 I'm doing right now, is the BZ 144.
All right.
For my 100 battle challenge there, Pilgrim, I am down to only 4. So I've done all the tier 6s.
Right.
That's not true. The stupid G row is now down there, but
okay.
all but the G row. And then I've only got 4 tier 7s left, so we're doing the BZ. I'm actually working on the Cheeto too, because the stupid patch came in. I had about 3 good Cheeto games for the review, and I didn't do the replay review part, record it, and they got nuked.
Right.
So I've actually had to build another crew and play a few games with it. I think I've got the content I need, which means later today I need to do this. Otherwise, I stand the risk of losing it again.
Yeah. Because the patch kicks in tomorrow, doesn't it? So. Yeah.
But I also set up the VZ44, which is a tank that's been pretty kind to me as well.
All right.
With the bounty equipment, so it's on the list now too for the 100 battle. Well, man, I think that's about it for me. You got anything else, or any questions from the peanut gallery out there? Not working.
I'll tell you what I have got. I'll gift the boxes next Sunday.
Can't, because they're gone.
Yeah, I got you to answer that. I got you.
I was supposed to let that go?
Yeah.
Dude, you have gifted so much stuff. Don't even worry about it, man. Don't even. That's pretty funny, though.
I'm gonna do a tank next weekend, mate.
Free Mars boxes for everyone who shows up next week.
Next week, yeah.
It's like that sign, right? Free beer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Every day you come in, it's free beer tomorrow. Kamaran would be hilarious with CBS and Bond Optics in an EBR. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
I have seen some serious EBR YOLO last week. I don't know what's in the water. Maybe I'm noticing it more, but I was laughing my ass off yesterday playing a couple of games. Just EBR's just going bulls deep into the enemy, and both on my side and their side, and just getting absolutely murdered. Just completely.
I think there's an element within the game that is either new to the game or has got to the point where the EBR thing is just to do it for a big laugh.
I think, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
like, whatever the reason, they were definitely living up to the EBR player stereotype of YOLO to die within 30 seconds. And it was noticeable. It was hilarious. Yeah. It's good when you see your enemy guy do it. It's bad when your EBR.
Yeah, no, you're like, no.
God, I was on Proc yesterday, and they had a 12T, and we had a EBR 9 or even 90, and we even 90 wasn't playing great, but he was okay. He wasn't dead, and we got the 12T dead. And then I started to do the try to coax thing with the, hey, we need you to move down the tree line or whatever, and he starts doing it, but he's just, I can tell he doesn't know what he's doing. He gets dead, and we end up losing the battle.
Oh, man.
Even though he should have completely taken over, and we come out and I check his stats, and he's like a 46% player. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, the ELC is, I think, the light of the game. If you can camo, I mean, I've got my camo at something completely ridiculous.
Yeah, 907%.
Yeah, it's just absolutely mental. If you can get it like that, you can be so effective in game if you know what to do with it. But that's the bottom line. You need to know what to do with it.
Not
What's your
working.
thoughts on Recon?
I haven't done it, man. I've ignored it. I've completely ignored
wanted
it.
to do it, Guido, but
I just the dynamic thing is something I just am not interested in, and I know it's coming, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I just it's just another thing, another little cut, right? Death by 1,000 cuts. It's just going to be another cut that's going to irritate me. It's just not something we need in the game in any way, shape, or form.
I've seen some stuff on the forum about it. Is that some players are not even noticing it. They see it, but it doesn't affect the gameplay as such. But I think, truth be told, I think it does affect the gameplay.
Well, it's going to change the map completely at some point, and is it going to? And it seems to be something that's going to happen every time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And then I don't know if it was Zemke or Cliffy or somebody was talking about using the dynamic cover and just get your conqueror and you can just continue to push it forward because some of it can't be destroyed. So it's just permanent armor in front of you that you can push around.
Yeah, containers can get destroyed, but it takes 5 or 6 shots to destroy them.
Right.
So you've got yourself a big lump of space armor.
It was Diablo. Diablo mentioned that.
Oh.
Yeah, gimmicks, 100%. Thoughts on Onslaught? Didn't play it. Same reason. For the same reason. I'm not interested in a mode where I play a heavy or an assault TD or one of 2 lights, or not lights, but mediums, 2 or 4, whatever is viable.
Too restrictive, I think. I like 7 versus 7 idea, but it's too restrictive.
Yeah, not interested in the extra hit points. I'm not interested in the special power-ups. It's a brawl around the cap. Actually, you can't get to the ranked store anymore. That completely is in the realm of the discussion we had about incentives to play, right?
Yeah.
So the only time I ever played ranked or anything like that was just to get to the bond shop so I could get a couple of those bond tanks. Well, that bond shop hasn't been open in I don't know how long. In fact, actually, can some of you still get into the bond shop based on the last ranked season?
That's a good point, actually.
Is it technically still open for you guys? If you got access to it? I did not get access to it in the last ranked season, so I got access to it the season before and got one of the tanks. Okay, so Quota says yes.
Says yeah.
So that's a total screw job.
Yeah.
As people build up bonds, they're able to dive in there and grab tanks as they build bonds and stuff. Everyone else that hasn't had an opportunity to do it since then, a year ago or whatever it's been now.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff in this game that is just dangling off in the ether.
Isn't it
just unfinished stuff, half-assed finished stuff, ranked or Onslaught. I guess rank's gone. I don't know. Onslaught's different. It's great. It's insane.
I think there's a lack of coordination with a lot of the development of this game. I really do think that I think the lack of an overarching I don't know what to call it, but something that gives direction to all the different departments. I think there's an awful lot of people going off all over the place.
They've always flailed a bit. Recently, though, since the whole war thing and their reorg, they've flailed even harder. Yeah. They've definitely flailed harder since then. Some things seem to be going along okay, but there does not seem to be a very specific direction. Imagine trying to explain to a brand new player, like you or me, trying to get somebody into World of Tanks, and they start asking questions about how to get some of these tanks or pieces of equipment or things that they need to do.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Just think of it about how you'd have to sort of explain to them how they would maneuver through this game to get there. Yeah.
You couldn't go back to the good old days and say, right, you've got 5 lines, 5 country lines. You just grind your way through. You get to tier 10. You get all this stuff. You can't do that anymore, can you?
Yeah. It's just something as simple as, hey, how do I get that tank? Oh well. That chieftain looks cool. How do I get that? Well.
Yeah.
Well, about that. Figure a year.
My message would be, don't bother.
Figure a year or two from now.
Yeah. I I'll see you in 9 years, mate.
Or how about just simply like, how do I get that 279 early?
Yeah.
Well, funny you should ask that, actually. Do you want it tomorrow?
Yeah.
And what's it worth to you?
$500 for it.
What's it worth to you?
Oh, dear.
Do you want the long way or the short way? Which one do you like?
Have you got a big wallet? I could get you the 279 early tomorrow.
Yeah, just around midnight. My buddy who got me to play WoD after 3 years of trying would try and explain things to me. I was like, what? You build tanks? Yada yada.
Brilliant. Oh,
Preferring ranked compared to onslaught. I mean, like, yeah, brother Todd, I did, and I put videos out. I did enjoy the pure 7v7. There was another version of it, was called a different name when the first time they did the 7v7. Was it? I don't know if it was called Onslaught. You guys remember that?
No, it was called Clash or something. Clash? No.
Clash? Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah,
Brawl,
something like that.
Brawl.
Brawl, that was it.
And it was just pure 7v7. Now that still has the same problematic issues of because I don't remember if that was an encounter mode too. I think it was
Yeah.
an encounter mode, but it was just 7v7. You know, and yeah, you're still gonna have the issue where in 7v7 in an encounter mode, it's probably really not worth playing an arty or a light tank. But there wasn't all the other special powers and crap that sort of changed some of that a little bit.
No.
I mean, you get these Maus, they have that healing power, so they have a bunch of extra hit points, and they have the healing. Any heavy, really, that has the healing thing and all that kind of mess. Anyway, I'm glad people like it. I hope they enjoy it. It's just not for me. I didn't touch it. And frankly, it's on the other side now of the incentive stick. What is the incentive for Onslaught? What is there? I don't even know what you can get. It's not much. I know it's not much. All right, Pilgrim. I think I'm done talking. What about you? You got any last words?
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Because it's such a glorious day, I'll give you the view.
Oh, very nice.
Out there, hang on.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. The flags are up with the mugs. There you go. That's the view out of the dressing room, the English gentleman's dressing room. Green fields and trees.
Green fields and trees.
And the sun shining.
As it should be. As it should be in your dotage.
As it should be.
As it should be in your dotage. Yes.
Lady Britain.
I'll be expecting a rocking chair in there at some point.
Yeah, you will get that in. Yeah.
That's out in the garden, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is at the moment. Yeah.
It'll rain in 10 minutes. Not working as intended. This was their one day of sun. He mentioned.
This is summer.
Yeah. And it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
I love English summer because I'm here and it's hot as balls here. So when we go there, we always get. I've told the story a million times, but the relations are always like, "Oh man, sorry it's raining or whatever." And wife and I we just put on our jacket, get out our umbrella and troop on, man, and just enjoy the cool.
Yeah, because you get wet just standing still out there in Florida, don't you? Because it's like.
But I'm also cooking. It's like I'm being parboiled. Yeah, I like the cool, man. I enjoy it. But we were there last year or 2 years ago when that damn heat wave came through. That was brutal.
Yeah.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
Was that the heat? Was the heat apocalypse last year? I think it was, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. People were dropping like flies.
It was. I'll do it in centigrade because I can't do the conversion, but it was close to 42 degrees.
It was hot. It was
it was proper hot.
Mid 90s, attempting to get to 100 on occasion.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit.
I've served in hot places, so I sort of knew what to expect. Hong Kong, the Gulf,
right.
The rest of it. But people that just didn't know how to deal with it because it was hot just standing still. You'd walk, it was even hotter.
Well, we laughed. I mean, my kids were laughing their ass off. I mean, because when it got to mid to upper 80s, that's hot for you guys. And if it's lower 90s, that's amazing, super hot. But when it even started to touch 90, and then we'd be watching the news, and they'd be down, "What are you doing to survive the heat?" and all that. And we're just, we're looking at each other like,
yeah. Why don't they turn the air conditioning on? Oh, we don't have air conditioning in the United Kingdom.
Oh, my son will be out at the island. It'll be 95 and humid as hell, and he's just raging. They're out in the boat having a good time doing all that. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You do acclimatise. You do it. I mean,
You do, yeah.
We have 99% humidity in Hong Kong, and
Yeah.
I want to say it was in the high 90s there during the summer. And you acclimatise. I mean, we didn't have kids then. It was just
Yeah.
the house channel and me. And yeah, it was a normal day when you went out, and you just knew your shirt would be soaking wet by the end of the day. You just got on with it, you know.
But the AC does help, obviously. It's one thing to
Yeah, absolutely.
brag about how tough you are, but if you have to sleep in that,
Yeah.
that's brutal.
Well, because this was 80. When were we at Hong Kong? 84. We had one air conditioning unit which was in the bedroom. So what we used to have to do to make because we were in an apartment, to make the apartment cold, we'd have to open all the doors, set the air conditioner on, and put a fan in the bedroom, blowing the cold air through the rest of the apartment,
Right.
just so you could sit in the
Yep.
front room.
Yeah, it's definitely because when the hurricane hit, blah blah blah, and we had no electricity for weeks on end, trying to sleep. Any days I tried to stay here and sleep,
Oh,
it just
that must have been gruesome.
it's just stifling. You almost rather I'd have to go out onto the screen room and it's blazing out there, but at least it's not the stuffy inside
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Horrible. Look at this.
Go get this
Delta.
Euro trucks in and get a truck, then go by Pilgrim's house and
Yeah, wake them all up.
tell Pilgrim to put his VR stuff on so he can hear us honking the horn.
That'd be cool.
Bunked with a Malaysian guy at a training school. He was freezing to death when I got in the upper. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Well, we
I've
get
never
that-
been in jungle. That's not nice.
When her uncle comes out in the winter here, when it's 50, 45, 50, he'll be in shorts and a t-shirt,
Yeah.
right? Because that's a summer day to him. My sister came down from Alaska once some years back, and it was spring, so it was probably 75 or 80, and she was roasting.
Good stuff. Isn't
Yep.
it? No, working as intended on it. At least you don't get -20. Thank goodness we don't.
Yeah, no thanks.
-40 in Colorado. We're on top of the mountains, Blues.
Speaking of that, before we go, I think the snow is well melting up at the cabin, man.
Really?
Yeah,
So it's spring up at the cabin.
definitely. I can see some ground on places.
Are you gonna be getting the old fly hat out and doing a bit of the old trout?
Holy cow! Totally see the ground. Wow.
Oh man, looks like a holiday's or a vacation is due.
I know Okay, I'm gonna do it old guy style. All right, this is gonna be off of a phone, so it's gonna be kind of silly.
Look at that. The sunshine.
There's the ground. That's the no
Wow.
shit. Yeah.
Wow.
So remember how high that snow was? Holy
Yeah,
crap!
Yeah.
All right, I like it. I
Blue
like
says
it.
it's -40 in town in
Now,
No.
as long as it hasn't flooded the basement from
Oh,
ice
yeah,
ice
yeah.
dams and stuff, we'll be good to go.
Have you got pumps in the basement? Can you pump in?
No. It's actually built into the side of a hill, so the ground falls off. So in the back of the basement, there's still windows at just below ground level, but they have wells that you can see up. My concern
Yeah,
was
yeah.
those were going to fill up with water
Fill up,
and then
yeah.
come in the windows. So I'm hoping that didn't happen.
Okay.
We'll see. All right, guys, I got to get going, man. Thanks for coming. Lots of subs actually today, so I do really appreciate that from you guys. We got some follows too. Tigray, Draven, 3D Mechanics, thank you very much. Poise with the resubscribe, APA Woody, Blues Traveler, Brother Todd, Stickler, thank you. That is all very helpful. Thank you very much. And I apologize for missing it as we go. I get babbling away and forget about it.
We get distracted, don't we?
We
We're
do.
old.
We do. Yeah, shiny thing shows up. Some random story we've told 15 times. You know, the usual. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. I do appreciate it. Let's go raid somebody before we sign off here. Who we got? As always, I'll take any suggestions. The only person I see that I know is Godpack. You guys have got any suggestions? Thank you, 3D Mechanicus. 3D Mechanics, sorry.
I like Mechanicus. I like that word.
Well, actually, there's a guy.
He's
There's
absolutely-
actually a guy, Watt Mechanicus or something, has a channel.
Oh, is it?
Don't know, Brother Todd. We'll see. I'm gonna try to sneak one in somewhere next week. Maybe Friday because I have that off. But if I find any time in between, I will. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm on Friday as well, so
Are you?
I can always provide the secondary level of armor for you.
Is that a bank holiday?
No, it's the day that I've been owed from work for a long time, so I've decided to take it as the bank holidays.
You just muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Right, 4-day weekend, bank holiday Monday. Decided to take the Friday that they owed me that weekend, so it gives me 4 days.
That's what we're doing. It's Memorial Day this weekend for us, so we've got. So I'll take, and then they do like the military does a family day. So obviously the military can just give days off as they want. For us civilian guys, we have to take it. So nobody's at work, so there's no reason to go. So I'll just use it.
It's you might as well just.
Oh, Bandu. All right, fantastic. At least I was useful.
Yes.
Useful.
There is a use.
Who else is streaming? Anybody?
The only I can see Stack Up, but that's doing Octopath.
Yeah, they're doing
That's
another
all
game.
I've got on there.
Where is? Go here. All the tanks. Who we got? Find somebody. Find some little feller. Not that I'm not a little feller, but littler feller. All right, Pig. See ya, man. Have a good one. Thanks for coming, my friend.
Yep. Have a good one, everybody.
What we got down here? All right. How about Shromi? I know nothing about him. Let's see. Let's go raid Shromi. Why not? This has had a let's call it a mixed success rate. A few weeks back, raided some guy, and I don't know what the hell was going on, but it was.
Just anything.
So it's whatever happens here. It's not my fault. All right. Well, it is because I raided.
That's a disclaimer and a half.
It is my fault. I don't have control of it. Let's put it that way. It was 100% my fault. That's all I've got from the left side of the Atlantic.
Pilgrim signing off from the correct side of the Atlantic.
See ya.